Now that we're all in agreement on the wallpaper, I want to start off first with a list that I just saw today. I just saw this today, and I'm gonna put it on the screen here. And so what Spotify did was they put together a poll on on Spotify to try to decide who is going to be the next big three, right? And so we actually have what they came up with here first. So let's take a look at this. I think you guys should be able to see it. So this is Spotify's fan-selected next big three. And they selected Lil Tecca, Doechii, and Baby Keem. Lil Tecca, Doechii, and Baby Keem. What do you guys think about this? Open floor.
I mean, the only person that I'm off rip not contesting is Doechii, because I do think she's one of the leaders of the new school. She's repping Gen Z really well, and she cares about the art, not only as like a lyricist or an MC, but she can sing and she's artistic in other ways. And like, I love that she's opening us up to that more. Yeah, I think that she's one of the heiresses of the genre. So I don't disagree with her. Baby Keem, I think, needs to prove a little bit more. Like there needs to be a little bit more, marination there, so to speak, even though I love Baby Keem and I think Casino will be recognized as a classic, if not a Gen Z classic, because I do think it is that good. And I think that he also cares about art in the way that like a Doechii would too. Lil Tecca, I could have seen if people were saying that like a couple years ago, maybe. But I don't know that he has the same cultural capture. Now, I'm sure the streams and the numbers and everything, like his ecosystem of fans, like think he's like the best thing, whatever, like super fans, whatever. Because that's just kind of how the culture is right now, right? It's like you could have 1 billion listeners a month and someone never heard of you before. Like that's just kind of how it goes now. But I just don't see him leading the genre, and certainly not someone to like put against these two in a big three scenario. So it's my first thoughts.
I mean, you're Gen Z. Lil Tecca ain't hitting for you. He ain't hitting what you want.
I like Lil Tecca, like, and I like his subgenre of hip hop. I really do. I love a good vibe. I love a good auto tune. I genuinely enjoy that. But even so, there's women in the underground or the over underground like that are just better artistically than him, that I think have a little bit more longevity than him. So like even within that lane, Lil Tecca is not who I would put up as like, yeah, this is a formidable representation of like the genre. Even though I love his stuff, and even though like I think he's seen great success, it's kind of like that's just not hitting for me.
Word up! 1 second applause. I mean, I really got hip to Lil Tecca last year, and I'll be honest, Lil Tecca had a crazy 2025. Dark Thoughts was one of the biggest albums in rap that came out last year. I think the song is called, I think the album is Dark Thoughts. But he was one of the very few artists to chart consistently within the top 40. We covered that pretty heavily here on the chart report that we do over here on this channel. I am so far behind on chart report right now, but it's coming back. Don't worry, guys. And he's from New York, and I like that part. I like the fact that, okay, there is still young people from New York, even if New York necessarily isn't.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was from New York.
Yeah, he's from Queens. Yeah, he's from New York. You know what I mean? So
I had no idea. I thought he was from the South.
I like it. I mean, I think the music presentation and his name probably led you in that direction.
Yeah. I mean, I forget how big he is. I mean, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I guess I know he's huge, but he's bigger than probably what a lot of people might think, especially people who are 35 plus.
Exactly. I mean, he is literally, from a chart standpoint, one of the most successful artists in hip hop right now. Zoe, what do you think?
I honestly don't have any thoughts on Lil Tecca because I know nothing about Lil Tecca. I mean, learning that he's from New York, that's probably the most I know about him at this point.
You didn't know that either. So you didn't know that either.
No, I didn't know that either.
Okay.
I know this is from the fans, right? So
it is.
They decided. Okay. So, I mean, obviously he's there. It's just that I'm not knowledgeable about what's going on with him. Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I lost? Has he been active in the last few years?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just missing out. Am I?
I definitely think it's
Depends on what you like.
It's good to know. It's also good to know what is moving, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons why I even do chart report in the first place. I'm not someone who is this big numbers guy, generally speaking, but I do think it's important to understand what's happening in the business of selling music. And this mug is selling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because his monthly listeners are crazy, right? Like his.
Yeah, his monthlies are
And
way up there.
He makes good songs. Like he makes hits, that have the root of a hit, that have like an infectious hook. Like he definitely has like some sort of talent and eye. And I think he's Jamaican American too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, like he's good. It's just interesting to put him in that context. I don't know.
18 million monthly listeners on Spotify.
Come on, man. One second applause.
That's heavy.
Yeah, he's not a slouch. He's not a slouch out here. What do you think, El? You familiar with?
That's what's so crazy is like artists now can just exist in these silos where two of the 5 people on here have really not heard his music that much, and he's got 18 million monthly listeners. So it's
a good point.
That's just the nature of the business now. I guess it's kind of crazy.
That's where we are, man. There's no monoculture.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting, like what you said with the silos, because I was here trying to realize, like, is Lil Tecca supposed to have gotten to me, or am I supposed to have gotten to Lil Tecca? Kind of this interesting back and forth, like who is really running behind, me or him? So, similar to what Zoe said, I was just thinking about, okay, this is a fan vote. So I remember like back in my day, youngsters, they would have like different award shows that would be all about the fan vote. And I remember being so upset, like this was not better, but it really becomes like who has a more engaged audience. And so this is how I kind of look at it more so like, okay, these people have the highest engaged audience with whatever poll style that Spotify tried to do. I agree with Doechii, don't really agree with the other two, but maybe there's some other 18 million siloed artists that I also don't know that should be up there. So I don't know. I feel a little reserved on my opinion here, because who the hell is Lil Tecca?
I do agree. I think so I agree with the Baby Keem aspect of it. I think Baby Keem does need to do a little bit more. I like this album that he came out with. I feel like he's opening up a little bit more, which I think is a good direction to go in. But I definitely got to say, I think Keem needs to do a little bit more. Doechii, I definitely agree with Doechii. I definitely agree that Doechii is showcasing her talent. And she's showcasing undeniable talent at this point, which I think is the key to it all. So, yeah, that's where I am with that.
Word up. 1 second applause. I want to investigate that. Like, what does that mean? Keem needs to do. He's a Grammy winner.
Right.
He has his first #1 in R&B and hip hop right now. Currently has 2 songs in the top 40, and he has a underground cultural. And he's shown at least that he can do a range of styles.
I was just about to say something about that, Justin. I don't know that I was ready to hop on that he needs to do a little more, because I feel like he's shown, especially with the documentary album rollout, I feel like he's kind of showing this commitment to artistry in a way that I was kind of okay with him saying, okay, he's like a future new leader. Like I didn't really feel that same hesitation, but I can see why some people are like, isn't this a little early? But I feel like even me, an older hip hop fan, feels like I could see it. I can kind of see it. So I think that means something.
Yeah, because how long was the I'm sorry.
Okay.
How long was the like the time between the last album? 5 years, 6 years? I mean, it was a long time.
5 years, yeah.
So Zoe, is that what you mean more so it just took him too long to put out the album?
Yeah, I guess so. Or maybe I'm just putting too much. Am I putting too much weight on the lead the new generation title? Maybe it's that, but
I don't know, because when I first heard Big 3, I was like, Big 3, but then
Yeah.
I'm like, it's new generation. Like, okay,
right.
Title does matter.
I mean, I think like I agree that he has earned his title as a leader of the new school, and like a good and a formidable one at that. Like I think I feel comfortable putting my little brother, who's like a younger Gen Z, onto Baby Keem, especially Casino, because it showcases Black male masculinity, Black male vulnerability, Black male joy. Like there's these range, like this commitment to the art and all that. combined with the documentary and all that. It just seems like he genuinely cares. I think people maybe some people may need time, like in terms of like a vantage point, like more time needs to pass for them to kind of sit with it. But I think like, I mean, even to Elle's point, like he's showcased enough now, I think that we could comfortably say, but it's just, I guess the 5-year gap does kind of scare people because it's like, okay, is this the type of artist, kind of like a Frank Ocean, where it's just like, they don't really feel the need to like that they have it in them, and the work that they've already put out is so good, but do they kind of just not see the necessity to keep up with the machine like pace that it kind of takes to lead, so to speak? That's also kind of what people say about Dot, is like, well, will he be active enough? That's what they were saying, like, will he be active enough to like lead or whatever? I know leadership can look a little different too, though, but like, I think the impression that he's making on the industry now is going to mean something in like 5, 10, 20 years. And you can't really say that about too much that's coming out like in the 2020s era. So, yeah.
And it's funny you brought up Dot.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's funny you brought up Dot, because that's what I was kind of thinking. Like, when you say how the industry wants you to put out projects at a certain pace, I do like how I feel like he single-handedly kind of slowed that down. Like, actually, no, I'm going to put them out at this pace, and they're going to be like masterpiece after masterpiece. So I agree. I don't know if that really is the pace for the leader. Maybe the leader can pick the pace.
How many artists have that luxury though, to go 5 years without dropping a project and staying relevant in the conversation and having a huge, first week and first few weeks like this? Like, the pressure is 1 to 2 projects a year at this point, and he's going 5 years. Like, that's unheard. Not how many artists can do that nowadays in any genre.
Especially a young artist. That's the thing that I see, right? He's not A$AP Rocky. He's not Kendrick. He's not J. Cole. He's not a lot of Joey Badass. I mean, I guess Joey Badass didn't even do that. That's as successfully as what we're seeing here with Baby Keem, right?
Yeah,
and that's
advantages for sure. I mean, that's kind of unheard of.
His advantage is his writing and producing, I think. I think that's how he's been able to kind of afford himself that luxury, potentially. I mean, not only just being connected to Kendrick's PG Lang and like the familial connection or whatever, but kind of like what Kendrick was saying in the documentary, like, I don't really care who you is. That's how he said it. I don't care who you is. Like, you're gonna have to show and prove. Like, you're not gonna just hang around here just because you Kendrick little cousin. So I think him, the on the production side and writing side, kind of the behind the scenes, him being so active, and then him like winning a Grammy, that was for like his work for Beyonce. I mean, he's not a slouch, like in the kind of production side of things too. So maybe the answer for younger artists is like to get really intimate with diversifying like your skill set too. I mean, it's not a cure-all, but like even Willow was saying that like she learned the drums, she learned the guitar, which I know these are expensive, luxurious endeavors to even invest in as well, but just kind of diversifying yourself and not not just sticking to one skill might help with that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the
pace. No, go ahead, Justin.
Well, that's the other thing too. When I look at Keem, right? Unfortunately, to me, Gen Z is really thin, right? And I think that has a lot to do with so many people in that generation who have passed away so soon. We didn't get a chance to see Juice WRLD to his full potential. We didn't see X to his full potential. We didn't see Lil Peep to this. A lot of people, right? And so, looking at this, it doesn't seem that far off to me. Now, Glorilla, I think she's someone who should be in that conversation, definitely. I can't believe YoungBoy's army didn't show up and vote for this. I just can't. I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. All these artists are really talented, but no YoungBoy. Like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? And like, when I look at Baby Keem, particularly this album that came out, Casino, particularly the fact that it seems to have very mixed reviews. Like, either people love it or hate it. There's not a lot of people in the middle on that project. And when I look at that as one of the defining projects for Generation Z, because it's so vulnerable, because he is really tapping into what looks like the energy of that generation is, from my point of view. You know what I mean? And in that regard, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I was like hesitant to even listen to the project at first because I saw so many negative reviews, and I keep having to remind myself that I can't let the peanut gallery on X or wherever talk me out of listening to something. And when I did, I'm like, oh, this is great. I actually think it's a really solid album. I think it's really good. I think the song with Too Short is a smash. And maybe that's my old man that's coming out and loving the Too Short feature, but I think that song is great. Like, I think Sex Appeal is great. The song with Kendrick, It's also really like it's a solid album, and I cannot let people dictate what I do and don't listen to on X. I think that's also a problem these days because you just see so much negativity, but also the polarizing stuff is good. Like it's good to have those mixed reviews.
Yeah.
1 second pause.
And so I looked up what was the voting process. So I don't think they could have put Young Boy in there because remember from last week they did the hip hop's next leaders, and you could only vote those people.
Oh,
So
okay.
Wait, they
That
selected
list they
that.
put out.
yes, they picked. They basically added a voting process inside of Spotify, which I never saw before. So I see Spotify trying to add a little.
Oh, that's terrible. Wait.
Right.
Read the rules to everybody so we know what we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
It says open our hip hop's next leaders playlist in the Spotify app, tap, vote, and pick your artist. Repeat daily to keep your voice in the conversation.
Oh,
So
gosh.
from the playlist that they made from leaders of the next generation, I'm gonna send it to you. That is where you could vote from. So it was limited, and we kind of had our eyebrows raised about that list in the first place.
Yeah.
So it was limited to only voting for the people who were in that grouping.
Also, speaking to the Young Boy point, when Brian was on here, Brian Z, I guess he goes by Z. When he was on here like a couple weeks ago, he was talking about how Young Boy is their #1 artist on Audio Mac, like in the entire country, right? And how a lot of the award processes or these charts or even like a Spotify list that like Spotify users are voting on disenfranchises a particular type of listener and consumer of music, particularly YB's music, because I was just thinking if YouTube did this poll, Young Boy would be on there, right? Because like he used to exclusively drop his music on YouTube for a while. Like he wasn't even on major, mainstream streaming platforms. So that is kind of interesting that they would, that's probably the pool that they got, and how it excluded kind of that large swath of listeners.
Yeah, and I know Andrew asked who was on there. So they had Doechii, Baby Keem, Central C, Glorilla, Big X the Plug, Lil Tecca, Rod Wave, and Sexy Red.
So this is basically their new leaders list.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is who they voted in the top 3. This became the next big 3. Okay, well, that was fun. This is a very skewed list. I'm not sure if there's anything else that we need to talk about on this one. I think we're okay now.
We have
to figure that out.
There's a certain select set of people we could choose from. Okay.
Right. Okay. Moving on to the next topic. 1 second applause. That was still a robust discussion. And I'm happy everybody got a chance to learn about Lil Tecca.
Yes.
Thank you, Justin.
Like 2 weeks in a row that I'm tired of being like, who the hell is Lil Tecca? I'm gonna listen, Lil Tecca.
Listen to Lil Tecca. Check out Ransom. Check out Dark Thoughts. You know what I mean? He's doing numbers. Spotify. He made it to Spotify's finals, which doesn't have Young Boy, so I'm not sure how final that is, but it's still there.
I do know Ransom. I do know that.
Okay, there
Ransom,
you go.
I do know. Okay.
I'm gonna listen. Okay.
There you go. He's from New York. Give the city some love. 1 second applause.